Oh, we're having too much fun, aren't we, Patrick? With these videos, they're crazy. We're going insane. Let's go insane with some, as a good one of our good friends up in Napa used to call it, Sangiovese. I'm just kidding, it's not Sangiovese, it's Sangiovese. And this is really effing good Sangiovese. Andrea Cortonese, he was no dummy. He was working for this little known up and coming estate back in the 80s called Ciacci Piccolomini d'Aragona. And when he was working at Ciacci, he's like, these vineyards, they're very nice. Wait, did I just say that? I'm not really Italian, but I'm sure he said it just like that. Andrea ended up purchasing a small part of Ciacci from the original owners and set up shop with his own project, Uccelliera. And Uccelliera rocketed to stardom fairly quickly. Andrea, really talented. The vineyards, beautiful vineyards in the southeast section of Montalcino, one of the finest terroirs going. And when you put two and two together, you make some really amazing wines. And on top of that, when you add on, okay, and we talked about 2016 as one of the great vintages in Tuscany, and it is. 2010, 2016, those two vintages stand out in my mind as two of the greatest years in Tuscany of the last 20. Well, now we have to add 2021 to the mix, and 2021 may be the trump card. Wait, not the trump card, but the card, the best maybe of those three great years. And Uccelliera, with their fabulous vineyards, have produced one of the best Rosso di Montalcino wines I've ever had. This stuff is triple baller. What does he put on the cork here? Squirrel. Oh, he got a little. Use a serious cork. These are expensive corks, bro. These are not cheap corks here. Now, the thing is, it's not a lot of producers in Montalcino have vineyards like that are labeled Sant'Antimo or labeled whatever. And there's Rosso di Montalcino produced on those sites. But Andrea uses all younger vine Sangiovese from his top Montalcino vineyards to produce the Rosso di Montalcino. So this isn't, it's a selection, but it's a young vine selection. It's not necessarily a terroir selection, right? So, man, this stuff is, these 21s, they're so zen. You know what I mean? And I've only done yoga a few times, but you have that really good yoga class and you do the Shavasana and you're all sweaty and chilled out and you leave and you're just like, man, I feel good and refreshed and like I can conquer the world. And these 21 Tuscan Sangiovese wines have that I just had the best yoga class ever and I'm gonna go out and conquer the world right now. They are so zen. They're so within themselves and so complete. The balance here is just, some of the nerdy critics haunting. And if you're gonna use haunting as a term to describe the balance and equilibrium in these wines, then yeah, it's haunting, man. It's you stick your face in the glass and you're like, man, aromatically, how can this wine get more compelling than it already is for the genre, for what it is, right? And we're not saying that the Rosso is Brunello because it's not. The aging process is different, the selection's different. But the key is, if you can get a little sniff of a great Brunello di Montalcino wine from a Rosso, while it's still fulfilling its job and obligation, which is delivering you this Montalcino-esque vibe, but at a much lower price and a much easier level of drinkability, then yes, yes, and yes. And this wine does that in spades. The color's perfect. Sangiovese isn't supposed to be black, people. It's supposed to have this nice little kind of faded ruby color to it, and boy, it does have that. Perfect level of rusticity. You know exactly what you're drinking. There's no mistaking this. All you WSET nerds and all you super somms, you stick your face in this wine, it is immediate. This is Montalcinese Sangiovese, just barking, just roaring, just but controlled, right? Controlled. Some of the vintages can be a bit hot, a bit heavy, a bit this, a bit that. No, This is all controlled, all even keel, perfectly proportioned. Man, loving this gear. As a hardcore wine nerd, I love this gear. I mean, he always does good work, but you throw 21 in the mix. And the thing is, there's also a little gravitas to this wine, so even though it's doing its job as this more accessible kind of Montalcino style wine that you can get into earlier in a great way, if you age this Rosso di Montalcino 5 years, you'll be rewarded for it. This is gonna do 3 to 5 years in the cellar and be better than it is now, right? But you can't say that every year about Rosso di Montalcino. You can't say it. I'm just enchanted. Well, not because the wine's overwhelming, just because it's so like, so vertical, just, man, straight in there. Long story short, one of the best Rosso di Montalcino wines we sold this year. Exquisite value at $27 a bottle on the shelf. This is just beautiful, gorgeous wine. 93 points from Venice, one of their top Rossos of the vintage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Feel good about buying it, feel confident about buying it. Look at that fancy cork. Good Lord, huh? Dude, what a wine. Kudos, Andrea, and the whole team at Uccelliera. This is a beautiful, beautiful Rosso di Montalcino wine.